cream goes in the coffee, Dad, not the syrup. What's the matter with you? Last night you poured gravy on your peaches.
I'm worried about the Haley account. He's a big oil man from Texas, but he won't talk business until he finds his daughter.
You mean he's lost her?
Oh, she left home after an argument about some boy that she liked. Her dad hasn't seen her for over a year. He thinks that she may be right here in New York.
He ought to be ashamed of himself. A poor little girl like that.
Lynn Haley isn't exactly a poor little girl.
Lynn Haley? You mean the girl I went to school with?
Oh, I think it's the same one. Of course, he's sorry now. He's tried everything to find her. Private detectives.
Well, if she's here in New York, I can find her in 10 minutes. Nora Williams was her best friend at school. All I have to do is phone her. She'll be able to tell me where Lynn is.
Then phone her. If I can find Haley's daughter for him, he'll talk big business.
Watch that syrup. Operator, get me Rio de Janeiro, please.
Rio de Janeiro?
That's where she lives. Yes, operator, I'd like to speak to Miss Nora Williams. She works in the American Embassy there. Thanks a million, Nora. And give my love to all those South Americans. Bye now. Well, here it is. 44 East 64th Street, Apartment 7. It's almost around the corner.
You had to phone South America to get an address around the corner?
You told me to. I better see her first, Dad.
Why?
To tell her how he feels.
He can do that.
Well, maybe she won't talk to him.
That's their business.
It's mine, too, now that I've found her. Anyway, I think it's fairer this way.
Now, Margie.
Dad, look at all the trouble Mr. Haley got into by disagreeing with his daughter.
All right, go ahead and see her.
Dad, now you promise you won't tell Mr. Haley until I tell you to.
Okay. Well, wait till I tell Mr. Honeywell that I've solved our whole problem. That is, with your help, of course.
What have you got to whistle about?
Just Lynn Haley's address, that's all.
You found her all right?
44 East 64th Street, Apartment 7.
This'll put us in solid with the old man. Betty, get me Mr. Haley at his hotel right away.
Wait a minute, Mr. Honeywell. Margie said not to tell him until she...
Margie said? Since when is Margie running this business?
Oh, she's only trying to help.
All right, are you out of your mind? You know what happens every time Margie horns in on one of our deals.
Well, but this is different.
Different, my Aunt Catherine. I love Margie as much as you do. But let's face it, she's... Hello? Oh, hello, Mr. Haley. Got great news for you. Albright's located your daughter. Yep, right here in town. She's at 44 East 64th Street, Apartment 7.
But, Lynn, honey, why can't you tell your father? Certainly there's nothing wrong with being married and having a baby.
You don't know my father. You see, my husband's an artist, and a good one, too. But Father doesn't think a man's a man unless he's an oil man.
But, Lynn, he's got to know sooner or later.
You don't understand, Margie. It'd spoil everything if he found out now. Dick's been working for months on the murals for the Texas Memorial, and he's down there now. But Father's on the board of directors, and if he finds out about us, he'll be so furious he'll ruin Dick's chances.
Well, maybe if he saw the baby and all, he'd feel different.
I don't dare tell him. I only hope your father doesn't give us away.
Oh, don't worry about Dad. I can handle him.
Thanks, Margie. If Dick wins first prize, then we'll face Father on our own 2 feet. I mean, 4 feet. I guess I mean 6 feet.
Father!
Lynn, honey. I'll never be able to thank Albright enough for finding my little girl for me. I'm so glad I found you. Let me have a look at you. Well...
Oh. This is my father, Margie. This is Margie Jones, a friend of mine.
Well, hello, Mrs. Jones.
Hi, Mr. Haley.
I don't mean to be rude, but I'd like to talk to Lynn alone.
Oh, of course, I understand. I was just leaving anyway. Bye.
Well, don't leave your baby.
Margie's a little absent-minded. It'll only be for a day or two, thanks, honey. And this time, don't tell your father anything.
Oh, but Lynn!
Oh, please, Margie, it'd ruin everything. Don't tell anybody whose baby it is.
We're not going to ruin anything, are we?
Afternoon, Miss Albright.
Hello, Charlie. Did you have a nice vacation?
Just fine. Did anything happen around here?
Oh, nothing unusual. Is Mrs. Odetts in?
I think so.
Charlie, this isn't what it looks like.
Well, what is it? It looks like a baby.
Well, it isn't.
Sounds like a baby, too.
Margie. Margie, how sweet. What is it, a boy or a girl?
I don't know.
It must be a boy. It looks just like your father.
Mrs. Odetts, do you have any diapers?
Didn't they give you some at the hospital?
I haven't been to the hospital. Lynn Haley ran away from home because her father doesn't like artists. She can't tell him now. But if her husband wins first prize, then they can stand on their own 6 feet.
Oh.
He must be hungry.
There's a turkey in the freezer.
The baby's turkeys are on diets, milk and things like that. I'll phone Freddie. He can get it for her.
Yes, I have a pencil. Yes, I have some paper. 2 dozen diapers. Yes. Talcum. Safety pins. Baby bottles. Nipples.
You can get everything at Baxter's, Freddie, and charge it to Honeywell and Todd. It's a business expense. And hurry, will you? Bring them to Mrs. Odetts' apartment.
Sure, Margie, right away. Mrs. Odetts? She's 83.
This is real nice of you, Albright. Real neighborly.
Well, the least I can do is mix up a cocktail or two to celebrate this happy occasion.
My little girl and I had a wonderful reunion. That is, after we got rid of a girlfriend of hers.
A girlfriend?
And our baby.
Oh, after you, sir.
I wish Freddie would hurry up. I'll see if I can find something we can use.
Make yourself comfortable, Mr. Haley, while I rustle up a couple of drinks. Hi, Margie. I want you to meet Mr. Haley. Mr. Haley, this is my daughter.
How do you do?
You two get acquainted, and I'll be right back.
Well, so Mrs. Jones is Vern Albright's daughter. That's quite a coincidence.
Yes, it is. But he doesn't know it.
Doesn't know that you're his daughter.
He doesn't know I'm Mrs. Jones.
Well, what about the baby?
He doesn't know about the baby either. I keep it across the hall with a neighbor. Oh, please, you won't tell him, will you?
Look here, young lady.
Now, wait, let me explain. I'm a grown woman, but my father doesn't understand that. He still thinks of me as a little girl, but other men don't.
I see. Mr. Jones looks like a nice young fellow. Why doesn't your father approve?
My father doesn't think a man's a man unless he's in the investment business.
If that's your only problem, maybe I can arrange something.
You won't say anything to Dad, will you, please?
Here you are, sir. Happy days.
Excellent. What an intelligent-looking face, Albright. Relative of yours?
Heaven forbid. I mean, he's a friend of Margie's.
He's an up-and-coming-looking young fellow. What's his line?
Unemployment insurance. He's the state champion waiter in line.
Now, Albright, things are different than when you and I started out. Boys these days are getting out of the Army instead of out of college. Probably married with a baby or two.
Baby? Is that what's making that racket?
You're just hearing things, Dad.
These boys need a break, a helping hand, a slap on the back instead of...
That's strange. They don't allow babies in this building.
Well, that's a silly regulation. Babies are the foundation of our civilization. If I had a son-in-law and a grandchild, I'd be the happiest, proudest, luckiest man in the whole world.
You would, Mr. Jones? Mr. Haley?
I certainly would. Albright,
Yes, Mr. Haley.
think over what I just said. Well, I must go. I don't want to keep Lynn waiting for me.
Waiting?
Yes, I had the hotel send my things over. I'm staying with her while I'm here.
Well, now that's as it should be.
I'll get your coat.
Well, it's about time.
I had to go back. I forgot the nipples. Whose baby is this, Mrs. Odetts?
I'm not sure. Someone with 6 feet.
6 feet? This place confuses me. It confuses me.
Goodbye, my dear.
Goodbye, Mr. Haley.
Now tell me you don't hear a baby crying.
I don't hear a baby crying.
I don't either. Well, Mr. Jones.
My name's Wilson. Freddie Wilson.
Well, the face is the same. Oh, I get it. You use Jones just to make sure Albright doesn't find out about it, eh?
You feel all right?
I understand you're interested in getting into the investment field.
You do? I am.
Margie's told me all about the two of you. And your little secret.
Our little... You mean...
A family's a big responsibility for a young man. I think I can help you.
Going down, gentlemen? All the way.
Are there such things as babies that never sleep?
There's such things as stoves that don't work. Mine's out of order again. You'll have to warm this.
Well, I ought to see Dad before he leaves anyway. Go to Grandma.
Grandma.
Well, good morning. I fixed breakfast.
Thanks. I'll be right there. I'm sorry about breakfast, Dad. Mrs. Odetts had a very restless night.
And so you've taken up nursing. What's the matter with her anyway?
Well, it's hard to say.
Well, she's not the only one who had a bad night. I'm going to talk to Charlie about that baby crying.
Right now?
No, now I'm going to get some cream.
Well, I'll get it.
Paper was a little late this morning, Mr. Albright.
Oh, thanks, Charlie. By the way, does someone on this floor have a new baby?
Of course not.
Is your name Charlie?
My name's Charlie.
Well, does someone on this
You
floor...
better have your ears examined, Dad.
Well, who is it, a visitor or some new tenants?
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Albright, yesterday I saw something look like a baby, sound like a baby, but it wasn't a baby. Was it, Miss Margie? That's what you said.
No, Charlie, it wasn't a baby.
Margie, what was all that double talk?
Oh, you know Charlie. Now, where are you going?
You were going to get the cream, remember? Now I'll try it. Between us, one of us should make it. Margie, what's that baby bottle doing in the frying pan?
Baby bottle? Frying pan? Oh, that's for Mrs. Odetts. She's on a diet.
What kind of a diet? Fried milk?
That's all about it.
Good morning, Albright.
Mr. Albright, if you don't mind.
Anything I can do for you, Albright?
Yes, get out of my chair.
I beg your pardon.
What's the meaning of all this?
Perhaps you'd better see our president, Mr. Honeywell.
What is that punk? What is that punk, Freddie Wilson, doing in my office, sitting at my desk?
You mean Mr. Wilson?
No, I don't. I mean, I guess I...
Very bright young man.
Bright?
I think he'd make a very good executive vice president.
Executive vice president of what?
No, Honeywell and Todd. May soon be Honeywell, Todd, and Wilson, if he wants to buy in.
Buy in? With what?
Confidentially, Albright, with a little of Mr. Haley's money.
Mr. Haley's money?
Haley seems to have great confidence in the young man. He phoned me about him last night. And I don't think you'll mind your new office too much.
My new office?
As soon as we take out the shelves and coat hooks and put in a window.
Mr. Honeywell, this time you've gone too far. I'm walking out. I quit.
We'll be sorry to have you go, Albright, but maybe we need some new blood around here. We can't carry deadwood purely for sentimental reasons.
Deadwood?
Hello?
Yesterday's charge slips just came through, and I thought I should check with you.
Something wrong with our account?
No, it's fine, only the order was slightly unusual for a business office. 2 dozen diapers.
Diapers? Baby oil? Who signed that slip?
It was a young man, the salesgirl said. Only he signed a girl's name. Miss Margie Albright.
Margie Albright? Just a second. What do you know about this? What's Margie up to now?
Margie, baby's crying. Mrs. Odetts, Mr. Haley, fried milk, apartment 7.
But what am I going to do about the baby, Lynn? Dad's already suspicious.
You didn't tell him, did you? Think what it would mean to me and Dick, everything we've worked and hoped for. Hoped for? I can't talk any louder. My father's shaving. Be sure to boil the milk and add 2 or 3 drops of let's see, a bunch of bananas, and that's all. Thank you.
That's ridiculous. How would you get a bunch of bananas in one of those little bottles?
I might have known.
Yes.
I didn't pay any attention to the card. Lynn should have told me, but I guess no real harm's been done.
No, I just lost my job, that's all.
Well, I'll straighten things out with Mr. Honeywell.
Thanks, but that can wait. I think we ought to teach those 2 girls a lesson first. Come on. Now do you hear a baby crying? Give me the doll, quick. Take the baby, hurry.
Oh, that's a good kid.
likes me. See it stop crying.
Okay, Grandpa, come on. You wait in here. Oh, Margie. Margie.
Dad, what are you doing home at this hour? Dad, what's happened?
I lost my job.
You what?
I lost my job. I hope they'll be happy with Freddie in the job.
Freddie?
Yes, he's the new executive vice president.
You mean Freddie Wilson?
Mr. Freddie Wilson, according to the nameplate.
Oh, he's had that forever. He made it in high school.
But it's on my desk. Oh, I guess I can't blame the firm. If Mr. Haley wants Freddie in the job, there's nothing I can do about it.
Mr. Haley? You mean... Dad, there's something I've got to tell you.
Margie, a miracle has happened. She's actually asleep. Mr. Albright.
Hello, Mrs. Odetts. Who's asleep?
It's what I was trying to tell you, Dad. Lynn Haley's married and has a baby.
A baby?
It's time to feed her. Shall I wake her up?
I'll wake her up.
Oh, no, Dad.
I've held babies before. I held you, didn't I?
Dad, that's no way to wake up a baby.
Cold little thing. I better get the circulation going.
Dad, you'll drop her.
I've never dropped a baby. I dropped a baby. All I have to do is pick it up.
Oh, Mrs. Odetts.
I can't stand it.
Margie, one of its eyes fell out. Oh, there it is there. Hand it to me, will you, honey?
It's glass.
Really?
I couldn't stand it any longer, Margie. I want my...
Then this is my father, Dad. This is Lynn Haley.
Hello, Mrs. Clark.
You know?
Well, I had to tell him.
Oh, that's all right, Margie. I've thought it over, and there's no sense in living a lie. First prize in the Texas Memorial or no first prize. Where is she?
Where's the baby?
Shh, quiet, everyone.
Mr. Haley.
Father.
Poor little tyke just needed Grandpa.
Well, that was quite a little joke, wasn't it?
I should have my ears examined.
And I ought to have my head examined. Spending all that good money on a bunch of chiseling detectives to try and find you. And all the time you were right here in New York.
And you're the happiest, proudest, luckiest man in the world, Mr. Haley, remember?
I am.
Well, you said you would be if you had a son-in-law and a grandchild. Well, you have, so you are. And remember about young men these days, Mr. Haley. They need a helping hand, a break, a slap on the back.
Margie.
She's right, Albright. I am the happiest man in the world. And probably the most foolish.
Hello? Yes?
When I'm wrong, Albright, I'm the first to admit it.
Sure, Deadwood will be there first thing in the morning with the Haley business all sewed up.
Oh, Margie, honey, I don't know how to thank you.
Now, Margie.
Now, don't you be foolish, too, Dad. Say things you're sorry for. All I was trying to do was...
What?
Keep you from pouring syrup in your coffee.
Well, that's my little Margie.